Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Light back with another YouTube video. And in today's video, we're gonna be doing let's continuing on with the series of reviewing the MCU, and today we're on part number 10, which is gonna be Avengers: Age of Ultron or Avengers 2, and this movie released in about 2015. So yeah, let's get into it. So the way I like to do this first, with these reviews is I like to do my initial reaction, followed by the bad, followed by the good, followed by my final thoughts and my score for the film. So, yeah, in today's video, we got Avengers 2. So, my initial reaction. Honestly, I think this movie is definitely it's decent. I wouldn't say it's the greatest or anything. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I think it's like the weakest out of the Avengers films, but it does accomplish a few different things. So, it's not too bad, but at the same time, it's not too good. So yeah, let's first of all let's start off with the bad. Let's go for the bad. So first of all, in terms of the bad, as I just said, it's not the greatest movie or anything, but it definitely has its bad. Like it has quite a few bads to say the least. Firstly, I want to start this off. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like just the feel of this film is it feels generally out of place in the MCU now. That's a very borderline kind of like strange thing to say. Like that's borderline hostile to say in the MC as an MCU fan. But yeah, it did introduce some of our characters that we see later on in the other films, such as like Vision, Scarlet Witch, and everything. But honestly, like if you think about it, what impact did this really have? Like they barely even bring it up at all. I don't even believe. I think we hear Ultron's name once. I remember this is an entire MCU. We only hear him once, like he was like nothing. Um, they barely ever mention it. I guess they mentioned Sokovia like once, and then Civil War, and that's a factor with that. But that's really all they ever really talk about with these things, and I just feel like it doesn't have an impact at all, really, towards the other MCU films. Like it has somewhat of an impact, but it doesn't have a very big one. And for especially a movie of this caliber, like this is supposed to be like this main, where we're supposed to be getting like the main characters of our universe teaming up here, and it just felt as if it was just a bit out of place, and not in a good way. I want to specify as well that's not in a good way. Like for example, Moon Knight is in a good way. This is not in a good way. This is in a pretty bad way because for all the reasons I just explained. Uh, so yeah. Uh, Another thing I just kind of disliked is I felt as if this movie didn't really flow properly. It feels a little bit choppy at certain points. A lot of stuff is just messed up. It just feels all over the place. Not a huge fan of the writing. Honestly, I don't know if this has to do with Josh Whedon or what, but it just feels a little choppy around the place. As well as I I'm all down for what it's cool to have romance and stuff in these films and whatnot, but I just feel it was kind of a dumb move to be putting Hulk with Black Widow. Like where did this even come from? It just felt like it was just very rushed and kind of strange to be exact. Yeah, it's kind of strange to me how this happened, but yeah, I just kind of dislike that part. I'm all down for that kind of stuff. It's all cool, but yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of the MCU couple for this movie. So here's that, and then Hawkeye's family just kind of felt out of this place. Now again, I'm all down exploring characters, backstories and stuff, but it just felt so out of place. I remember watching this originally, just being like, "What the hell is this?" So yeah. Next thing is just the misuse of characters. For example, they had Quicksilver. Quicksilver is a really interesting character, and they had Scarlet Witch too. And Scarlet Witch definitely was misused as well. But we had chances of redemption for her. But I can't say the same for Quicksilver. They they essentially, or sorry, yeah, 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 Pietro. Sorry, I don't know. They specifically don't call him Quicksilver in the thing. Sorry about that. But Pietro, I guess, and Wanda. So Pietro, yeah, he's dead. And that was just a complete misuse of his character. Honestly, I would have been fine. I would have been like, oh, okay, it is what it is. They're trying to add that sting in there, I guess, to just kill off one of the characters, which is okay. But the way they did it was just kind of bad. I mean, yeah, it was sacrificial play and stuff, and it was just like, shoot, man, that was kind of sad. But I mean, I just felt like it didn't resonate at all with me, and I was honestly ultimately just like, huh, um, yeah, he's dead. I don't know what else to say. Like that that's exactly my feeling towards it. So again, that just goes on with the kind of like choppy writing and stuff. So yeah, and it's not even like Pietro was like some bad, like some severe bad man or something. He was actually a pretty decent person. So yeah. Another thing I kind of disliked was the mishandlement of Ultron. Now, the way they did this villain was kind of bad. I mean, Ultron. If you know Ultron, you know he's a very very big threat to the Avengers, on par with like some of the greatest villains in the Marvel universe. And in this movie, they kind of just severely mistreated him. Especially, we're seeing Ultron essentially beat up the Avengers and stuff like that. But then all of a sudden, he just gets completely shitted on by Hulk, and Hulk kills him. Oh, sorry, not Hulk. Sorry. Vision. Like that made no sense whatsoever. How they just kill him off like that. That was just really stupid in my opinion. Honestly, if I were Marvel, I wouldn't even kill him off. I'd let him open him up to coming back eventually. Like honestly, that's just the way I feel about this movie. They just really did Ultron really bad. So yeah. Anyways, enough for the bad. Let's go with the. Oh, and one more thing with the bad as well with the choppy writing and stuff. Those visions that they're having, that was just some next. That wasn't good. That stuff with Thor really like just made Thor look like a bad character again. Um, yeah, that was just randomly and very stupid in my opinion. But I mean, it is what it is. Move it. Let's move on to the good now. All right, the good. I thought everybody acted pretty good. I mean, I wasn't. I was never in this movie like, why is so and so acting like this? This is kind of bad. But I mean, everybody was acting pretty good in this movie, so I did enjoy it. I also did enjoy how they introduced new characters. Sorry, how they introduced new characters, as well as brought in other characters like other superheroes to kind of make the Avengers team larger in a sense. So I liked how they introduced the characters of Scarlet Witch, Vision, and Vision, Wanda, and Pietro. Um, I liked how they introduced those characters, as well as gave us as well Falcon and War Machine as well coming on the team. I guess you could say. So that was really interesting. I liked how they introduced some more characters. That was really cool. As well as this actually tied a little bit of stuff from the other movies, which was quite interesting. But I mean, it didn't have that larger impact on the MCU though. That's another thing. Another thing I liked the character designs. I thought the character designs was pretty interesting. Like I like Captain America's new uniform. That looked pretty cool. I like the I mean, sorry, not Ultron. Sorry, Iron Man's new suit. That looked pretty cool. Black Widow suit looks pretty cool. Vision's design is really interesting. I actually like Pietro's costume, I guess you could say. I thought it looked pretty cool. Hawkeye's costume kind of sucks still, but I mean, it's whatever. I'm not gonna say all the costumes suck just because of him. The costumes are still good. So yeah, there's that. I also did like the action. The action was pretty interesting. I like the action a lot. I thought it was pretty interesting with the different action uh, parts and stuff, and fighting all these Ultron bots. Now, this could be good or bad the way you look at it, but I mean, thing I kind of liked about it was it showcased them forming up to be a team again, but it wasn't very well done. It was kind of decently done. They kind of pulled the same stuff as the first movie, kind of like disbanded everybody, then got everybody together. But I mean, also with this, it was interesting as well. Uh, but they did it in a different way, so it was like Black Widow was captured and stuff like that. Um, and Thor was off doing whatever, and yeah. So I thought that was interesting to see kind of like that way of thinking about it. So yeah. Anyways, now moving on to my final thoughts slash score. Honestly, I think this is a very much is a movie that's kind of in the middle, but going towards the bad part. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't say I really enjoyed this movie. I'd say I'd watch it. Don't get me wrong, I'd watch it, but I mean, it's not like the greatest movie or anything. Uh, in terms of my score, honestly, I'd give it probably like a 7 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10. Uh, yeah, that's pretty much it though. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.